On the hunt for comfortable, timeless Western boots? You already know the best place to shop for quality boots is at your local Tacova store. So stop by Tacova's Nashville, at the Mall at Green Hills, or on Broadway by Ryman Auditorium. That's right, you now have 2 locations to choose from. Grab a cold one as you shop and get fitted by a pro. Tacova's Nashville is at your service, and you can find your perfectly fitted dream boots with the help of their expert staff. Everyone will be asking where you got your sick new boots, but I won't be asking because I know they must be Tacova's. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Nashville, we've got the results of last night's federal and state primary and the local general election. We're also going to talk about some new restaurants and food trends, getting drunk at the airport, and our cute little weekend plans, whether or not that involves getting drunk at the airport. I'm here with producer Marie Cecile Anderson and executive producer Whitney Pastrek. CityCast Nashville is presented by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tacova's. It's August 2nd, I'm Grace Fuse, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Okay, so just before we get started, Whitney, can you catch us up on the winners and losers of last night's election?
I sure can, Grace. So there were not a lot of surprises in yesterday's election results. In the primary for the U.S. Senate seat currently held by Republican Marsha Blackburn, Tennessee State House Representative Gloria Johnson, one of the Tennessee Three, coasted to an easy victory over a field of Democrats that included former Democratic nominee Marquita Bradshaw. Johnson will face off with Blackburn in November in a race that is sure to be a battle of MAGA Republican talking points versus low statewide Democratic turnout. In Tennessee's 5th congressional district, Republican incumbent Andy Ogles held off a strong challenge from Metro Councilmember Courtney Johnston in a race that the whole nation was watching. He'll go up against Metro Nashville Human Relations Commission Chair Maryam Abel-Fazli in the general. More than a few Nashville Democrats pulled Republican ballots to vote for Councilmember Johnston. This is not best practices, folks. And in the only other local contested congressional primary, Democrat Lori Bergman appears to have squeaked out a win for the nomination in the Tennessee 6th. She'll face incumbent Congressman John Rose, a Republican who met his wife while she was a high school FFA student. Over in the competitive Davidson County races, son of a bullet maker Chad Bobo won the Republican nomination for the Tennessee State House District 60 seat, formerly held by Democrat Darren Jernigan. He'll face Democrat Shondell Brooks, whose son, Akilah, was killed in the Waffle House shooting. She narrowly defeated Tyler Brasher after a heated race that captured the attention of every politico in Nashville. And incumbent Democratic State House Representative Bob Freeman easily held off a progressive challenge from Vanderbilt student Nick Forster Benson in District 56. A special shout out to my friend Matt Anderson, who for some unknown reason wants to be my state executive committee representative to the Tennessee Democratic Party. He won his race. Matt, may the raccoons be ever in your favor. And finally, Democrat Robert Taylor had no trouble defeating Republican Demetrius Savage Short in the race for Nashville School Board District 1. Folks, we vote a lot in Nashville, and we've got one more to go in November. If you're not registered, please visit govotetn.com right now. Our turnout sucks. Please be part of the solution. Back to you, Grace.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more about this next week, so stay tuned for that. All right, Marie, you formerly had a podcast that was a food podcast, and that's why I'm going to ask you specifically about some of these new restaurants that are popping up in Nashville. Could you tell us a little bit about the trends that you're noticing in town?
This gets me so excited. We have a ton of Asian restaurants here in Nashville, and one specifically that opened recently called Kore, which I just stumbled upon last weekend when I had a dinner reservation at 210 Jack. But then when my friend arrived, who's in town recording an album, she said it was too loud.
Wait, 210 Jack was too loud?
Interesting.
It was too loud for her. So, and
it's not my experience.
Yeah. I mean, it is really loud.
Really?
It's, hey, I'm really into quiet places.
Yeah.
But it was, well, because the cement floor, I'm not knocking, Whitney, I know you love 210 Jack.
Well, I do, but Marie, here's your first problem. You went at like 7:45 at night. I get there at 4:45, people, early bird happy hour.
That's a hot tip.
So lovely and relaxing.
Yes. Well, at 8 o'clock on a Friday, whoopsie doozy, it was too loud for my friend. So we walked across the street to this new place called Kore.
Oh, is that where the samurai sushi
where the
used
bad
to be?
Sushi was.
Where the bad sushi was.
Nice.
And that's also where Eastland Cafe used to be for the old heads.
Well, it's no longer there. In its place, there's a new place called Kore, which means, because I was like, what is Kore? It means whale in Korean. And people in Korea call a person who likes to eat and drink so Kore. Fun little fact.
Fun fact.
Put that in your cap. It's a sister restaurant of Me Kitchen in Franklin, which is a modern spin to Korean dishes. So it's pretty much a similar menus. And when we went, the food was outstanding. We had crispy rice. We had a salmon, raw salmon bowl. We actually ordered the crispy rice twice because it was so freaking good. And then the chef, Yoon, came out and introduced himself and told us to spread the word. So here I am.
Oh, we love that.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. I just want to point out that 210 Jack also has crispy rice.
I know, but
I'm just kidding. Try new places, people.
I make it myself all the time. So it's kind of it's really easy. Like when you make rice for a normal, like you're making rice with a different dish, and then you take whatever amount of leftover rice you have, and I put it in a little loaf pan, and you cover it with parchment paper all around, and then you put the rice in, and you like put some cans on top to smush it down, and put that in your fridge for like a day until you have this hard little block of rice, and then you chop that up the next day and like fry it in some oil, and that's how you make your crispy rice.
That's news you can use.
Yeah.
I usually just make crispy rice by scraping out what's stuck to the bottom of my rice cooker.
Which is it's kind of the same thing.
Well, anyway, highly recommend. And then also we have a new restaurant opening. It just opened this past week called Choi. It's a Chinese-American restaurant in the Gulch. Two chefs. One is a James Beard-winning chef, Brandon Ju, and Brian Griffith. And Griffith actually was Ju's longtime sous chef at the Michelin star restaurant in San Francisco called Mr. Ju's.
I don't mind there being a new upscale Chinese restaurant in the Gulch, because that's where Tansuo was, which fell victim to the pandemic. That was Manit Chawan's restaurant. Manit and her whole team are great. They worked with me with the World Central Kitchen and pumped a lot of meals out to the community during that time. But I do know that they struggled. And also that corner they were on, they've had like 8 skyscrapers get built around them in the last 4 years. So that can't have helped.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a story about construction ruining lives.
Yeah.
I hate going to the Gulch.
Yeah, right?
Everybody hates going to the Gulch.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you guys have recommendations for where to park in the Gulch? Because that's what holds me back.
Don't. That's my recommendation.
Okay.
There's parking garages that you can get, I think, like the first hour free, but then it's $1,000 an hour after.
So run in. Run in.
But one thing I just want to mention about Choi, which the menu is outstanding. All the reviews on Yelp so far are incredible. My only qualm about it is the price point. Their Peking duck is $130.
No,
Their
thank you.
beef chow fun is $38. Their smashed cucumbers is $13 when you can go to Kore, and I believe it's $4. So
you also can order from Best Walk on Postmates. I highly recommend the Hunan chicken.
I love a Best Walk.
So anyway, find a rich friend, go to Choi.
I would love to. I would love for someone to buy me $100 Peking duck.
Yeah.
That email address again, ladies and gentlemen, it's Nashville.
If there's anyone,
citycast.fm.
contact me. We're cute, I promise.
And then one last thing that Grace brought to our attention today is Noco just won number one top. Let's see, at the very top of the Yelp list. What is this?
Best restaurants in the South.
Yeah, but we won number one, baby.
Margaret actually pointed that out in our Hey Nashville newsletter yesterday. Shout out, Margaret.
Shout out, Margaret. I also just want to brag to you guys about the fact that I went to Noco before it opened because I befriended, Brightside Bake Shop that's right there.
My favorite bakery in Nashville.
Me too. I used to go like every day and I befriended one of the people that worked there and she got the exclusive invite to go to the pre-opening. She took me as her date because we were like talking about it all the time.
What was your favorite thing you ate there?
The brisket was my favorite, but I'll be totally honest. Every time I've been back, I get the brisket again and it hasn't been quite as good as it was that first time I went. But it's still good.
That applies to so many things in life.
It does.
Oh, man.
I chase it. And the one thing I really like a sweet little drink. So one thing I love at Noco is the ube colada. So, and that is my transition into our next segment. That is also drinking, but drinking at the airport, not at Noco. What's going on with drinking at the airport, Whitney?
I love how we cannot get through a Friday news roundup without talking about public intoxication in some way or form. So we talked last week about all the great places to eat at the airport now that you can get in there without a plane ticket. But if you're planning to wash down your hot chicken with a local beer or 2 or 9, you are not alone. Drinking arrests at BNA are going through the roof.
Arrests.
The amazing Demetria Kalodimos did a great video piece in the Nashville Banner this week. So in 2022, there were 33 arrests for public intoxication. Last year, there were 79. And this year, they've already, at the end of July, arrested 40 people who were too drunk to fly.
How drunk do you have to be too drunk to fly?
I mean, technically, you're not allowed to board a plane if you're intoxicated. There's FAA regulations around this. And the airport, I will include this for legal purposes, the airport says that the, quote, rate of arrests for intoxication hasn't increased in 3.5 years, but they calculate that rate per million passengers. And there's way more millions of passengers coming through that airport now than there were, say, 3.5 years ago. So most airports around the country don't have a broad liquor license like we do. Like, we are the Bourbon Street of airports. Yeah. You can just take your drink and wander around. They really should rebrand it. BNA, the Bourbon Street of airports. So do y'all drink at the airport?
I am a very nervous. We didn't quite cover this another time, but it did start to come up. I am like a very nervous flyer. I'm like a 3-4 hours early nervous flyer, and sometimes means I want a little special drink. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I want a little special drink at the airport.
Little sauce for your chair in the sky.
Yes, ma'am. I don't think I've ever felt like intoxicated on a plane at all. But why are the breweries there if I'm not supposed to have a beer before my flight?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and I, like I mentioned in that last one, I was a huge Vino Volo frequent flyer. I had my punch card.
So how drunk do you have to be? Is it that you can't even show your boarding pass? You're like,
I think stumbling and puking on yourself, definitely.
Yeah.
Puking on yourself.
The arrest that they showed in the video story on the Banner site was a guy who was literally walking around the airport swigging from a full bottle of whiskey that he had purchased at the airport. Because that's the other thing. Like,
well, you're not allowed to bring your open bottle.
The line I loved in the story is Dimitri is like, they've replaced the snow globes with fifths and pints. And it's true. Like, every souvenir shop has like a wall of Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
It's like duty free is everywhere.
But also, you're not allowed to get on the plane with an open liquor thing that you bought at the airport. So, like, I understand you buy your thing of bourbon and you're like, I gotta chug this whole thing. I opened it just to have a little taste, and then I found out I had to chug it all.
Don't you think there's a person here or there, perhaps, I'm not suggesting anything, where they got a little flasky flask and that's what the airport bathrooms are for? ...
Stop drinking at the airport, guys. Chill out.
I'm getting drunk on a plane. That is honestly one of my favorite country songs of all time. It's a great song. And it just so happens that Dierks Bentley is coming to Nashville.
My God.
Hopefully he will sing his hit song, Drunk on a Plane, on September 7th at Bridgestone.
Oh, we love you, Dierks.
We're going to take a little break and then tell you about all the cool things we're up to this weekend and things that you can get up to, too. BRB. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about something I'm going to on Saturday, which is Classic City Wrestling at Brooklyn Bowl.
Is this like the gorgeous ladies of wrestling?
I wish. No, it's a regular heavyweight championship. But the cool thing about it is at Brooklyn Bowl, they like to do these shows, or they like to do these, shows I think is probably fair. They like to, to do their wrestling at music venues because they have a live band, the Dexatines, that's going to play.
Cool.
They're like trying to attract, rock fans. They get a little rowdy, and as of right now, there are a lot of tickets still available, so you should go.
To clarify, Grace, I'm assuming that this is like the fun wrestling, not the guys in onesies wrestling. That's not fun. Sorry.
Yeah, I think they might still be in onesies, but I think it's the rowdy theatrical type.
It's not the Olympic wrestling.
No.
By the way, shout out Olympics.
Shout out Olympic wrestling.
Shout out.
What would your wrestling names be, Marie?
All the way Anderson.
Love.
Oh, that's good.
That's
Can I use what my roller derby name was going to be?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tina Hay.
I like that. I like that. Well, my roller derby name was Killjoy, so I think I could probably just keep that. That'd probably be fair.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wait,
That's
is that a My Chemical
amazing.
Romance reference?
No, it's not. I just was depressed and decided to lean
Grace
in.
is just a killjoy.
I just decided to lean in. I was like,
Oh my God.
Killjoys, make some noise.
Killjoy.
All right, what else do we have this weekend? I'll tell you what I'm excited for. East Nashville Beer Works. It's their 8th anniversary. They're the same age as my dog Wally, and they're celebrating with their annual August Fest. August Fest, it's August 3rd, tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Woo!
Totally kid-friendly event. They'll have bands, they'll have vendors, they'll have special beers. They roll out a special brew every hour on the hour. Check out this schedule. 1 p.m., they've got a vanilla cold brew Schwartz beer. 2 p.m.
Actually, I don't think I'd like
this
that.
is the one that I'm pumped for.
Gas, but I don't think I'd like it.
Okay, how about a peach habanero Woodland Street?
Yes, that
that's
I'm
an
in.
IPA.
I'm in for that.
Peach habanero. Blue at 3 p.m. Blue raspberry sour season.
Oh.
4 p.m. barrel aged coconut Luna. That's
I'm
a porter.
I'm in for, well, a porter.
In the
I don't
summertime.
want to be a hater. I just don't. None
Fair
of these are
enough. And then
resonating
at
yet.
5 p.m. they've got a cherry pomegranate lime sipper. Maria, I know you like that sipper.
I do. I like the sipper. I don't like fruit in my beers, though.
Oh, well,
Get it
they're only
out.
making 1 keg of each of these, so you want to be there to try them. And then they've got an August Fest pizza, garlic ranch cream sauce, mozzarella cheese, chicken, bacon, onion, topped with Dorito flakes.
What?
What
Okay.
better toppings could there be?
Wow. I love that.
I'm pretty psyched. Anyway, it's always a great day in the neighborhood. Come out and show your support because we're glad they're here.
You know where else you could show your support? Music City Uke Fest.
Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Melanie.
I know if listeners at home, if you have not listened to our Uke Fest episode, then go back and listen because this is so exciting. I had no idea that this even existed here in Nashville. But August 1st through the 4th in Franklin, we have Music City Uke Fest. Tons of bands are coming. People, just bring your uke and come on out, right? I love it.
Grace, are you going to go?
I am definitely going to go. I also think Marie should go because Marie is a euchre herself. She got some
That's
ukes
true.
in her background all the time. You can like workshop and stuff. You don't just have to watch things. You can be involved. You can get better at ukulele if that's your vibe.
Well, I would be going, except I'm going to get drunk on a plane.
Oh, that's right.
Flying to
Call
Europe
back.
next week.
That's right. We don't
and
have
s-
Marie for all
and
next week,
sadly,
and it's going to be sad.
I know, and I'm going to miss Robert's Western World's big 25th anniversary party on Monday, August 5th. Full block party with lots of bands playing, special guests, and galore. All day on Monday. So take off work and head downtown.
Take off work. Grace, I'm guessing you're excited about this one. There's a cat video festival at the Belcourt.
Yeah. Hard to pass that up. Cat Video Festival at the Belcourt. That's August 3rd and 4th. If you need a cheer up, having a bummer week, you want to watch some cat videos, I would recommend that.
And it's benefiting our friends at Nashville Cat Rescue, which is pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
I think Eva, who was on our podcast earlier, will actually be there to introduce some of the videos.
that would make sense. I mean, but cat videos need no introduction, to be honest.
Truly.
I don't know. Except, honestly, if they have backstories, though, I would love to have backstories on the cats. if that's how this works. I don't know. Tell me about their personalities.
This is
how did
Fluffy.
they get their names?
Fluffy was found trapped under a sewer grate.
This is
It's like
Killjoy.
American Idol. I don't want to just
This is
watch it.
Killjoy.
I don't want to watch it without the backstory. Last one that I'm really excited about is at the fairgrounds this weekend. We have the Vintage Market. That's August 3rd and 4th.
Ooh.
If you can't make it the 3rd and 4th, but you cannot miss it, you could also get an early entry ticket and go on the 2nd. So today.
So is that just all the vintage shops in town coming together for a
I mean, and
big party?
more. It's just vintage in the fairgrounds, like as far as the eye
Love
can
it.
see.
Well, I hope they have my
love it.
size because that's been an issue as of late.
It is a challenge.
That's an episode, though, that we're going to try and do. Am I making that up? But we've talked about this, doing a
Yes, inclusive
vintage,
sizing.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is actually-
inclusive vintage shopping.
For a period of time, it was my my entrepreneurial dream to have specifically a vintage store that would have a, in-house tailor and, like that kind of vibe, but like size inclusive vintage stuff. It's a passion of mine because it is a challenge as a wide hipped lady.
I do know. I literally know.
Okay, well, I hope everybody finds some clothes that fit them at the vintage market.
We're going to look back in a year and we'll have come up with so many great business ideas that we could just find investors and start them all and leave this world of podcasting behind and buy a yacht.
Yes. I can't wait to be a millionaire.
And get drunk on a yacht.
Get drunk on a yacht. Nice.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. Our executive producer is Whitney Pastrek. Our producer is Marie Cecile Anderson. And our Hey Nashville newsletter editor is Margaret Kingsbury. Our theme music is by Prof Jenkins. And if you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Bye!